Close your eyes for a second and picture this. You wake up to the faint toll of monastery bells, their somber echo cutting through the pre-dawn chill. No smartphone buzzing, no snooze button to slap. You're lying on a lumpy sack stuffed with straw. The faint rustle of mice inside it your only alarm clock. That coffee you're craving. Not happening. Coffee won't hit Europe for centuries. You're in medieval England, a world so raw and unforgiving it makes your air-conditioned life feel like a dream. As an independent historian, I've spent years chasing the truths history books skip, the gritty human details of what it took to survive the Middle Ages. And let me tell you, most of us wouldn't last a month. Why? Let's step into this world together and find out if you've got what it takes. You roll off that straw bed, your bones creaking from the cold stone floor. Your first job is water, and it's no quick trip to the sink. The village well is a quarter-mile slog, and the wooden bucket you're lugging weighs 10 pounds empty, 40 when brimming with water. Your family needs 6 buckets just to cook, clean, and drink before the day's work begins. That's 240 pounds hauled before you've even choked down breakfast. A hunk of bread so coarse it could chip a tooth in a bowl of pottage, a watery stew that's been simmering for days. No protein shakes, no avocado toast. You're hungry, but there's no time to whine. The fields are calling and they don't wait. Plowing is your next ordeal. Forget tractors. It's you and a wooden plow that weighs as much as a gym barbell. You're shoving it through clay-heavy soil, your boots sinking into mud, your shoulders jolting with every snag on a root or rock. 12 hours of this, your back screaming, your hands blistered. If you're lucky, an ox helps, but most days it's just you. By noon, you've burned more calories than a modern marathoner, and you're gulping ale, not for fun, but because the stream water might kill you. This isn't a workout, it's survival. Medieval peasants lifted over a ton of weight daily, not for likes, but to keep their families fed. Their bones tell the story. Skeletal remains show density that would shame an Olympian. Forearms thickened on one side from relentless labor, starting in childhood. You don't learn this in history classes, but it's etched in their graves. This relentless grind shapes more than your body. It shapes what you eat and how you live. You're not reaching for a protein bar or scrolling for a DoorDash order. Your diet is as raw as the world around you, and it's not what you'd expect. You're packing in 4,000 calories a day, but it's not a feast. Breakfast is that same gritty bread, maybe with a smear of rancid butter if you're lucky, and more pottage, grains, leeks, maybe a scrap of pork if the harvest was good. Vegetables are whatever you can grow. Cabbages, turnips, a handful of wild herbs snatched from the forest. Fruit's a rare treat, maybe an apple from a neighbor's tree. And your drink, ale. Always ale. Not because you're chasing a buzz, but because the fermentation kills the bugs in the water. Kids drink it too, a weak brew, maybe 2% alcohol, but packed with nutrients your body needs. You're downing a gallon a day, and it's keeping you alive. Here's the twist. This rough diet made medieval people healthier in ways we're only now piecing together. Their teeth, cleaner than ours, despite no dentists. Why? No processed sugar to rot them. Their gut microbiome was a powerhouse, fed by fermented ale, coarse bread, and wild plants. Modern scientists are obsessed with gut health, but medieval peasants had it figured out by default. Their diet wasn't constant. Harvest season brought feasts. Winter meant scraping by on dried beans and stale bread. This feast-famine cycle kept them lean, their metabolism sharp, like natural intermittent fasting without the influencers. Compare that to us. We're drowning in sugar, more in a week than they saw in a year. Our endless food options, from drive-thrus to delivery apps, have us battling obesity and diabetes, diseases they barely knew. They drank ale to survive. We drink soda and wonder why we're sluggish. Their food was fuel, not comfort, and their bodies thrived on it in ways ours don't. But survival isn't just about eating. It's about knowing the world in a way we forgot. You're not checking a weather app or setting a smart thermostat. You're reading the sky, watching how birds scatter, feeling the air's weight shift. Medieval men could predict storms days out, not with tech, but with instincts honed by necessity. You're walking the fields, and your eyes are scanning wolf tracks by the stream, nettles for soup, a fallen log for firewood. Your brain's a living database, no cloud required. Navigation? No GPS, no maps. You're finding your way across hundreds of miles by stars, landmarks, the slant of the sun. Their minds were wired for it. Neural pathways built for spatial awareness we've lost to screens. You don't learn this in history classes, but it was their reality. When crisis hits, flood, famine, raiders, there's no 911, no FEMA. Everyone in the village knows their role. They're building shelters from scratch, preserving meat without a fridge, forging tools from raw iron. The average medieval teenager knew more about the natural world than a modern survival guru. They didn't see nature as an obstacle. They were part of it, reading animal tracks, plant cycles, the pulse of the seasons. Compare that to us. We watch survival shows on Netflix but can't start a fire without a lighter. We've got first aid kits but wouldn't know a medicinal herb from a weed. Their knowledge wasn't academic. It was life, hard-earned and passed down, a library in every skull. This life demands more than a strong body or sharp instincts. It demands a mind forged in fire. There's no work-life balance because work is life. You're not punching a clock and heading home to binge a series. You're plowing, mending, carving, teaching your kids to do the same. Evidence shows they worked fewer hours than we do. 6, maybe 8 a day, but every task had purpose. Plow a field, see the furrows. Build a fence, know it guards your home. No emails, no quarterly reports, just results you can touch. Our cubicle grind chasing bonuses feels hollow by comparison. Their work was survival, and it gave everyday meaning. But it's their mental toughness that floors me. Every choice could be life or death. A bad harvest, starvation. A cut gets infected, no antibiotics. Raiders at the gate, you're the one holding a spear. No safety nets, no government aid. Yet medieval records show almost no signs of what we'd call anxiety or depression. They didn't expect comfort, they expected struggle, and were ready for it. They had this idea, call it productive suffering, where hardship wasn't a curse, but a forge, making you stronger, wiser, tougher. Trauma wasn't processed in therapy. It was worked out through labor, community, a shared acceptance that life was hard. We've built a world to dodge discomfort, popping pills for aches, scrolling to numb a bad day. They leaned into the pain and came out sharper. No motivational podcasts needed. Just purpose, raw and real. And fighting? It wasn't a hobby or a video game perk. By 7, boys were handling weapons, not for fun, but because survival demanded it. Farmers drilled with spears after plowing. Craftsmen kept axes by their workbenches. Merchants carried knives and knew how to use them. Skeletons show these men had more combat training than some modern soldiers. Their fighting was practical, brutal, learned through blood and bruises. Modern militaries still study their combat manuals for a reason. They worked. We think self-defense is a security system or a 911 call. They knew trouble didn't wait for backup. Avoidance was best, but when push came to shove, they fought with their own hands, no hesitation. That sense of readiness tied into something bigger, community. You're not an island in the Middle Ages. Your village is a web, every person a thread. Your neighbor's barn burns? You're there, hauling timber to rebuild, because next time it's you. Their harvest fails. You share your grain. Homelessness was almost unknown. Communities caught their own. You don't learn this in history classes, but their social system was tighter than anything we've got. Reputation was currency. Ghosting your duties wasn't an option. Everyone knew who you were, and you carried that weight. Compare that to us. Thousands of followers, but no one to help move your couch. We know our coworkers' LinkedIn, but not our neighbors' faces. We're connected yet alone. Our communities all surface, no depth. Even their health challenges our assumptions. They weren't filthy, they had bathhouses, washed daily with rough soap. Their immune systems were fortresses, built from raw exposure and a diet rich in herbs. That weed you're spraying? They'd use it for a fever. Their herbal knowledge was so sharp, drug companies still mine it. Surgery? They drilled skulls to relieve brain pressure, with survival rates better than you'd think. Cataract fixes with a needle, no anesthesia. Pain was just life, not a crisis to medicate away. A cold? They brewed remedies and kept working. Were downing Dayquil and ordering takeout at the first sniffle. They didn't have sick days. They had survival, and they owned it. So, here we are, staring down the truth. Would you make it in their world? Most of us wouldn't survive the first frost. It's not just the cold, the work, the hunger. It's the mindset we've lost. They weren't superhuman, just human in a way we've forgotten. They built cathedrals that stand today, raised families, faced raiders, rebuilt after every loss. Their skills outstripped our survival experts. Their strength humbled our gym rats. Their resilience mocked our self-help gurus. They could lose it all and start again. We lose Wi-Fi and panic. But here's the spark. Their life isn't gone. It's in you, waiting. You could learn to read the stars, swing an axe, lean on a neighbor. It's hard, but it's real. The Middle Ages aren't just history. They're a mirror, showing what we're capable of if we dare. So, what's it gonna be? Keep scrolling, or start building something that lasts? Drop a comment below. Tell me, could you hack it in their world? And if you want more dives into history's hidden corners, hit that subscribe button. Let's keep this conversation going.